Last time, I proposed an experiment where an IDM or run a player or players through DC20 without them building a character first. The idea is that they get to build the character through the gameplay instead of building it before the gameplay. Think of it like an evolved form of the new character video. Wow, that feels like forever ago. I wanted to make this to tell you how it went because I had my best friend of almost 20 years run this. And no, I'm not really suggesting you run all your games like this or anything. I just found it so much fun to make in workshop that I wanted to share it. So, BFF has known me for years, but she's never played D&D. She kinda sorta knows what it is, but not really. Like, she couldn't tell you what a D20 is or what Dex is, but she knows that elves are in Lord of the Rings and D&D players play like characters or something. So I used the exact same scenario as the previous video. She was in the woods, she heard sounds. What does she do? First, she hid, so I added a 3 for agility and had her roll stealth and add 5, 2 for mastery point, 3 for agility. Then she asked what she saw, and I described a shadow that was huge. And so she ran to town, so I put 1 in charisma for her secondary stat. Once in town, she stayed the night and then asked around for someone to find out more about the creature in the woods. She opted to find a hunter and talk to him. So then she gained a ranger feature and some HP. At this point, because of her approach, I put the remaining array in int and might, making might the lowest. She and the hunter went into the woods and she marched, well, stealth, right up to the sleeping bear in the day in its den and shot it. She used a lot of her AP on advantage and damage, and that's okay. To me, it's fine to keep things simple with higher chances and damage. She is also solo with a 1 NPC. We can get more complicated combat later. So the bear ran outside, hit her for a ton of damage, and then she finished it off with 1 final attack. Right at that point, we paused. I asked her a few questions like what did she think, how did she like it, and would she want to play more? All of which she had positive responses for. Next, I told her I'd introduce her to a typical new player experience. I walked her through the character creation 1 step at a time. I was most curious to see if she'd make the same style of character, like an agile rogue or ranger, or something different. She made something totally different. She cited a video she had seen about a guy making a horse thief character, aka a literal horse that happened to be a thief. See, what was interesting here was the difference between her interacting with the world and her creating a character that she knew was in a game that was really a reference to something else she'd seen. It was a mimicry rather than something organically made. Now, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I steal and reskin stuff all the time. I just noted when this happened that she immediately left the game world and went into the meta world. After picking an ancestry class and skills, we paused and I asked her some questions about her experience, and she told me she 100% preferred the first method. It was way better for her. She didn't like character creation at all because there were just too many choices and she spent time worrying about which choice was best. She wasn't thinking about a character in the world, but she was thinking like a person playing a game, which when I asked if she wanted to play more, she did 100% say yes and is supposed to come over next Wednesday for another little mini session. Now here's the really interesting bit though. When asked which of the 2 made characters she wanted to continue with, she chose the bard that she made during the creation process, even though she disliked that process. Now isn't that something? Cause neat as the experience was, I guess you are a bit at the mercy of the DM. Example, she had the choice to pick any class she wanted, but she picked the hunter, not because that's the class she wanted to play, but because the hunter makes the most sense to go deal with a large animal in the woods. So whatever scenario the DM starts with, they have to ensure it's kind of open so that there's not a clear best answer. She also mentioned realizing when she talked to the trainers in town that she knew she was essentially picking her class, yet she still picked the hunter based on the scenario. So one pro to the idea is the absolute simplicity of sitting down and just starting. Really, whoever the DM is on the hook for most of the work. Just one con would be not feeling like you have the ultimate pick or ultimate choice. But at the end of the day, she preferred the character not made the first way. Conclusion? It's a great start method for new players. It's a neat novelty for experienced ones. It just can't fully replace actual character creations with books and classes and lists and things. However, it can function as a great tutorial for building right into level 1 as well. You could maybe even use it as a start for a session, like then players have an anchor to make full character in the following session, like part 1 or part 2 of session 0, session 0.5 if you will. Well, I hope you found this helpful or at least entertaining. Let me know your thoughts below, and until next time.